Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It's Murph, and today we're here to talk about the new Road Ahead blog that just came out. I had no content over the weekend, busy weekend, and honestly, there's not much to talk about. But today we're gonna go through this Road Ahead, Journey Ahead May 2023 blog post, kind of talk about that, then talk about our overall first impressions of the game. Which, spoiler alert, nothing bad to say. I mean, there's bad things to say about it, like everything, but like, it's to be expected, right? Anyways, I'm gonna kind of breeze through the shit we don't care about, right? So, following format, chapter 1, look back at the recent past and comment on the current state of the game. Chapter 2 is going to give you a sense of what our focus will be over the next few months of development. May give additional chapters in future editions as we check in with the team and give folks the opportunity to showcase things they're excited about bringing into the game. So, chapter 1. I can't believe it's May. You could say time flies while you're having fun trying to develop and launch a game. It feels like we've lived several lifetimes in a very short amount of time. Title Update 3, which focused on UI, UX. Title Update 4, which tightened up the early game experience, went very well from our perspective from the outcome of that update. We were able to see that players were able to explore and play the game faster and smoother than before. Okay, cool. So basically just performance updates. I'm assuming, like they said the last few months, so this stuff's all from beta, right? So, as we'd hoped to do with our limited territory launch, yeah, okay, the game became a better experience based upon what we saw from data and you. Title Update 5 was the worldwide launch game version, had the updated art, kits, the economy reset, and a litany of other things. A few stability issues, freezes, and other problems that cropped up. We've worked aggressively to get those cleared up. We feel like the game is in a better place now. Very importantly, we've seen a lot of new friends join us. And with that, I'd like to say welcome to everybody. We have a ton of store for you over the next few months, so let's get into it. All right, so first off, let's talk about this, right? So one of the things that everybody seemed to be complaining and whining and bitching about, saying this game was going to be a flop, was the stability issues, freezings, the restarts, everything else that happened. And I just kind of want to come out and say it, like, it's 2023. This is the state of video games. Nothing comes out finished anymore. I don't know, like, why people are outraged about this, thinking that this game was going to be any different. This isn't a knock on the developers from the game itself. Like, this is just the standard of games today. Like, deal with it, or just don't spend money on it, don't support it if you feel that strongly. But I don't know, but like, I don't know why people are acting like they're shocked or outraged about it. Like, get over it, play the game. Like, every game on launch day, launch week is a fucking mess. Like, go play any Blizzard game, or fucking, I can't even think of anything else, like, because I guess I don't play anything but Blizzard games and mobile games, whatever. Overall, the morning of our launch day of Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth was a mix of nerves and pure excitement for the team. We've been working on this game for a long time, and to now finally have it in the hands of the players has been absolute elation. I imagine it would be. So far, we've seen wonderful responses from players excited about collecting their favorite characters for the possibilities of the what-if of the ring. As game director, it's been an honor to oversee the launch backed by such a tremendous team, so committed to their craft, but the work is far from over, and the journey has just begun. Okay, cool. So what's coming up? Chapter 2. As we look down the road, we see two major developments on the horizon. Our first legendary adventure and the Mines of Moria raid. All right. This is probably what we've data mined already, right? Oh, shit. No, it's not. Okay, eyes went down and I spoiled it for myself. Okay. Legendary adventures require players to use characters from specific factions to battle in a specially built event, escalating in difficulty to unlock powerful characters. Each adventure requires different factions to unlock a character. So this is just like how it works in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes back when, before they had the journey guides and they just had the monthly rotation of the legendary events. And this is how it works for the early Marvel Strike Force characters as well for the legendary unlocks. So legendary characters are 5-star unlocks, represent more powerful than normal characters. So it'll be the same thing. So like in Galaxy of Heroes, for instance, in order to unlock Emperor Palpatine as a legendary, you had to have 5 rebel characters. And then when you had 5 rebel characters at 1 star, you could play tier 1 of the event. And then if you had 5 of them at 2 stars, you could play it at tier 2 of the event. So on. 5 stars at tier 5, you unlocked the legendary character at 5 stars, and then 6 stars, 7 stars to max them out. And according to this, this is going to work the same way. So legendary characters are powerful and often become the cornerstone you can build potent squads around. There are a number of tiers in each event. This may change from event to event, each requiring characters from a specific faction at the corresponding tier rank. So that makes it sound more like that they're not just going to be legendary events, but they also might have like the journey archetype of like events. So like they'll have like characters A and B will be required at these ranks for tier 1, and then characters B and C will be required for tier 2, and then characters A and D, and so on, right? So like different characters for like different tiers of the event. As a hypothetical example, Treebeard could be a future legendary character. I actually assumed this was the case because it says theoretical, right? But like they've already mentioned that in your squads in the game, you get one slot for your large character or whatever it's called. So like your trolls for the shadow. We don't have any large like light characters that I'm aware of, at least. So like I kind of assumed it would be like the Istari or the like the Ents would kind of fill that role. Maybe like a Tom Bombadil like type character, like stuff like that would kind of fill that large role. Where even though like they might not be physically large, like their power level scale is that high. I don't know. Who knows? Like there aren't that many like physically large light side characters in Tolkien's universe, aside from like maybe like the Eagles, or I mean they get like really fucking crazy and go with like the Valar. That, I mean, that would be insane. I don't want them to do that. I don't even think they have the rights to them actually, because I don't think they have the Silmarillion. So in this theoretical example, they might require 5 characters from the Isengard faction. There are 7 tiers to this event. Tier 1 could theoretically require 5 Shadow Isengard characters at star rating 1. Tier 2 requires 5 of them at star 2, so on and so forth. When I complete tier 5, I unlock a 5-star Treebeard. Yep, so yeah, what we just talked about. This is a similar format that Capital Games has used in other places, and we're going to be using it in Heroes of Middle-earth too. So same shit as Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Legendary adventures will initially show up for a short window of time. Currently, we are aiming around 7 days to give players an opportunity to upgrade their characters and attempt to unlock the legendary character. Each legendary adventure may return. When exactly and how often, stay tuned as we'll let you know. So in Marvel Strike Force, I had a fun little kind of like timer that I would do for these events, where an event would pop up in game and I would track it on a spreadsheet, and when it popped up back again, we would look at how many days in between the 2 events were, and you can kind of start timing out the release cadences for these games and track it, so you have an idea of like when you need to farm these characters to this tier by when, before the event comes back around. So we'll be doing that here as well once these events start coming out. We're excited to announce who our first legendary will be. Drum roll please, cue the Elvish chorus, and it is Lord Elrond, which is fucking awesome. He's already in the game. We've seen him in some of the campaigns. I believe we've used him in some of the light side campaign nodes. He was as noble and fair as an elf lord, as strong as a warrior, as wise as a wizard, as venerable as a king of dwarves, and as kind as summer. So looks like we're getting Elrond, the elf king who isn't an elf. He should be a fucking king by all means, but he basically refused to become a king after Gil-galad died in the Second Age, fighting Sauron at the slopes of Mount Doom. He's one of the 3 elvish ring bearers in the Third Age as well. Elrond is like a super badass. Like if you are a fan of Lord of the Rings, like dive into his lore a little bit, because like he's more than just some dude that like rules over Rivendell. Like this dude was the like legit right hand man and banner carrier for like the last high elf king. It's fucking awesome. Lord Elrond is the pinnacle of elven prowess, utilizing the power of his ring Vilya to command the Bruinen River and protect Rivendell's borders. When his friends are in peril, his skill in healing is unmatched in all of Middle-earth. He's a critical ally in your fight to restore the timelines. Details on his kit and the faction required to get him is forthcoming. So like, okay, initial thoughts, right? What are we gonna need to unlock Elrond? I would say, like point blank off the top of my head, we've got like two kind of like no-brainer factions, right? The first one would be elves, right? So we get 5 elvish characters, and that'll unlock Elrond at 5 stars, whatever. But I wonder if it could be the Road to Rivendell team. They're literally named the Road to Rivendell, and he is the Lord of Rivendell. So like, it could be either or. I feel like it would be really scummy if they pushed Road to Rivendell on us right now early in this game, when Sam is already locked behind an event and Strider is locked behind your daily participation. So like, yes, you get guaranteed shards from him, but they're not coming anytime fast. Like it's a slow grind. So I feel like it would be shitty if they were to do Road to Rivendell to unlock Elrond, because there's two characters you really can't farm on that team. Although to be honest, I haven't really looked at elves and like their farm ability yet. I know Elrohir is a late farm at least, and he's one of Elrond's sons. Well, and he fits both. He might be a safe farm because he fits both the elf tag and. All right, we're gonna do a deep dive on this. I don't like speculative content, but like right now in the game, there's not a lot of content, so like we kind of gotta make do, right? Let's move on. Mines of Moria raid. From woods to mountains, you've likely seen the messages in game if you've made it to level 20. Our first raid is coming to Heroes of Middle Earth, the Mines of Moria. We couldn't think of a better opening raid to introduce our players to, and we thought of quite a few. The Mines of Moria itself is a sprawling complex of rooms, dwarven in make and trashed by orcish interlopers. There's a cave troll and most nightmarish of all, the dreaded Balrog. It has cool locations and characters, and checks all the boxes for an epic in-game raid. Let me take a moment to tell you a little bit more about the raid system in Heroes of Middle Earth. So, yeah, this was kind of my thought. I know I had talked in Discord with both my different guilds on both my accounts that Mines of Moria is kind of a slam dunk for their development team to do as a raid, because they can like essentially just take like the pit raid from Galaxy of Heroes. Now, granted, it's two different developers working on two different games, right? So it's not like they're just like, hey dude, let me see what you're working on, let me get that shit and just put it in this game. Like, that's not how that works at all. But like, just, you know, 1,000-foot picture, bird's eye view looking down, like you could basically just copy paste the same formula from like the pit raid with the Rancor in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and insert Balrog in Mines of Moria and just kind of like reskin it and call it something new. I'm not saying they're doing that, but I kind of assume, well, I mean, like, you hear Mines of Moria, obviously the fucking Durin's Bane is going to be in the raid. Raids will be open to guilds and their members to engage with. Note, you must be at a certain level to participate in a raid. We're aiming for guilds to be able to kick a chapter off about once a week and last around 4 or 5 days. Okay. So it sounds like the raids are going to be working more similar to the way that the raids work currently in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. My nose is killing me. Alright. Goal of each raid is to do damage in each chapter of the raid and accrue points. These points translate into personal rewards for yourself and guild level rewards for everyone in the guild. Players can increase the number of points they accrue by increasing the difficulty of the raid on each of their attempts, independent of the guild. The higher difficulties, the greater the rewards. So this is literally going to be like exactly like the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes raid rework that just came out that a lot of people were not happy about. But to be fair, a lot of people were not happy about the rewards coming out of those raids. Basically, like, they retuned the raids and we're getting less high-end shit, unless you're like in the top 5% of the game. Our goal is to have a dynamically challenging raid experience to grow with the roster of characters, but also allow players in each guild to choose the experience that feels most comfortable for them. Our hope is that players have an entertaining strategic puzzle to solve while working together as a guild for epic success and rewards. The Mines of Moria is going to be released in a chapter-by-chapter format as illustrated above, rather than going live with all aspects of the raid at once. That's kind of cool. We'll be releasing chapters one at a time over the course of a month or two. So when the Mines of Moria release, you'll see chapter 1 of a 4-chapter experience. Our hope with this experience is that players and guilds will be able to focus, build mastery across each chapter one at a time, and give them a chance to get excited for each part of the raid release. That's a cool idea. So you'd basically have like chapter 1 is like you entering the mines. Like, they didn't mention the Watcher in the water. Maybe that pops up, who knows? But like entering the mines, and then chapter 2 would be like traversing the mines. Chapter 3 and chapter 3 and 4 would be like fighting the Balrog or something. That's really cool. I'm really interested to see how that plays out. Why am I doing this raid other than it being cool? There's awesome rewards, powerful new gear, and maybe a powerful friend you can collect along the way. Okay, so that means that they are going to have character rewards or character shards for a special character tied to the raid. Fuck yes. Still early in the future, has yet to be written, but we have a ton of exciting plans for the future. Your first question is likely, when can I get my hands on chapter 1 of the Mines of Moria? We're still nailing it down the date, but our goal is to bring it to you within Q3 of this year. So that means we're looking at 1 to 3 months from now, essentially. Right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. We're looking at like a month and a half to like 4.5 ish. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, so that covers the entire blog post. We got nothing else here. What I want to talk about is like first initial impressions of the game. I like it. I really do. I think there's a lot of things that they can improve on, but they're working on. Like most of the things I think they can improve on is just like the UI errors, or like the constant like restart errors, and obviously they've already addressed that in this post. So they're working on that. And that's something that's going to improve over time as the game becomes more stable. Capital Games is not unfamiliar with this realm. Like they have successful games of this type that have stood the test of time for 7 years, which means we'll be fine, right? Like this game will stabilize eventually. Just stay aboard. One of the biggest complaints right now is just the lack of engaging content, and I hear you. It's kind of a slog right now, but that's what happens when these games first release. Like they just got done making the game. They didn't like you can't compare it to a game like Marvel Strike Force or Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes in terms of content, because Galaxy of Heroes has been out for 7 fucking years, and Marvel Strike Force has been out for like 4 years or 5, I think 5 years. I can't recall how long. I've seen people in videos like directly compare the amount of content in these games. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like Galaxy of Heroes did not have a raid when it first came out, neither did Marvel Strike Force. It's the shit with content creators. It's outrage content, negative content drives views. People bitch and whine and moan together, and then it makes views, and we all make money. Yay. We'll be fine. Like ultimately, like what you need to do is look at this at face value and realize, you know, if you've ever played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes or Marvel Strike Force, and you think to yourself like, man, I'm so far behind other people in this game because I didn't start on day one. Like, one, these games are designed for you to never, ever, ever be caught up or be ahead of the game. But two, like this is kind of your opportunity to chase that dragon, right? So like, stay with it. And 2-3 years from now, you won't be that person that's bitch, moaning, whining, complaining about the fact that like they're behind other people in this game. Like, this is your one time in this game to build a foundation and push forward, level your account, build your characters, build your teams, and be ready so that once content does drop, you can go out and fucking kill it. Especially with the fact that what they're doing with the raid systems, they're making it so that you don't have to play with like all-star fucking players. And you can't necessarily carry it yourself either, but like you're gonna benefit from your own ability. Like as good as your account is and as hard as you're able to push, you're gonna get personalized rewards for that. Yeah. So like, don't sweat the fact that there's no content in the game. Like, enjoy the fact that there's no content in this game. Develop a plan, stick to it, and like just grind it out. And once that content does drop, you're gonna be ready for it, and it's gonna be so much fun. 3, I've heard a lot of people complaining about like the offers in this game, which kind of blows my mind because it doesn't blow my mind. I don't know why I said that. It's always these kind of games, like people complain about the lack of resources or the offers aren't good or whatever. Insert thing here that I'm complaining about. These games are designed to make you want to spend money on them. They have specific intentional roadblocks put in the way so that you go, fuck this roadblock, fuck that roadblock, and also fuck this roadblock. You just swipe your card and get past them. Like that's what these games are designed for. They have psychologists that help advise and to like create these games because they know what gets people hooked, like what feels validating to people. Getting that random star pull or whatever. I agree. Like a lot of the gear crunch does suck right now. A lot of the gold crunch does suck. But also remember, like, we don't have any of like the end game level stuff that's out right now as far as like challenges. I'm sure they'll have like in the adventure guide or the event tab in the game, like a weekly rotation of different events like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Marvel Strike Force does. So you can replenish your XP in the game, like the training mod equivalent, your credits, your gear, whatever else you need, like your ability mats. Like it's gonna come with time. Just stop blowing it all right away and like realize the content's coming, guys. So with that, I'm gonna let it be. we're gonna do some digging and see what we can come up with as far as like what to focus on uh in the event that we're like or possible teams that might be required for Lord Elrond. This is super exciting. I'm super pumped to get one of our 3 Elven Ring wielders in the game. That's all I got. You guys, how are you guys liking the game so far? What are you thinking? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. And until next time, guys, I'll see you.